Hey besties, this may be a little unconventional, but I didn't feel like sitting up today, like trying to look professional. Do I ever look professional? Here's a question I get asked a lot. It's like, where do you find out about upcoming books? Because I feel like I'm always adding weird stuff to my TBR that you guys have never heard of before. And the fact is, I'm just like really active on like Twitter and pay attention to like publishing announcements, and there's Publishers Weekly and Goodreads. A lot of my friends also are really into like book announcements, and so a lot of times on Goodreads I'll see stuff that like has no title, has no cover in my feed, but like the synopsis sounds interesting, or the author is someone I want to try out or I have read from before. So I just add a ton of stuff to my Goodreads TBR before it really has much information at all. So I thought today, I don't even know what to call this. It's kind of like anticipated stuff. It's not like a news segment where I'm trying to inform you, because I have such specific reading tastes. And if I did just want to give you like all of the announced books, you know, that couldn't be a quick video. Not that this is going to be quick anyway. And it'd be a bunch of stuff that I'm not even interested in because I don't read a lot of popular stuff. So basically, if you're into the stuff that I'm into, here are some things that have been recently announced that I just want to casually chat about. Clearly, casual. Some of these have recently had cover reveals, and that's how I found out about them. And then a lot of them are just announced and they don't look like anything yet. And I have no more information about these books than Goodreads does. So I'm kind of just reading the Goodreads synopsis to you. Does that sound interesting? I don't really care. I'm going to do it anyway. One thing that's super interesting to me that has been happening recently is these contemporary authors. A lot of kind of well-known, in my mind, contemporary authors are writing fantasy for the first time, like within the coming years. So one of them was Sandy Menon. She wrote When Dimple Met Rishi, which is one of my favorite books, and then a couple others. And now I guess she's doing a fantasy series. The first book is called Of Curses and Kisses, and it's called The Saint Rosetta Academy. That's the series. And it's about a princess. I think you know that royalty stuff doesn't always appeal to me, but if it's an author that I know and love, like, I'm totally gonna check it out. So basically it's a romance, and at the end of the blurb it says, as the stars conspire to keep them apart, Jaya and Gray grapple with questions of love, loyalty, and whether it's possible to write your own happy ending. This is coming out in 2020 already, so we'll probably see a cover soon. I guess there's an elite boarding school. Oh, and the synopsis also says, will the princess save the beast? So I don't know like how fantastical it is, but it's obviously like a fairy tale retelling, Beauty and the Beast inspired. Super cool. And then who else did I see? I think I saw Adam Silvera, who I still haven't read a book from, but maybe some of his books have had like a little other element, but I think of him as contemporary. Oh, it's called Infinity Sun. It's got a cover. It's kind of intense looking. And this is a series as well. It's called the Spectres series. I definitely need to read Adam Silvera in general. It says it's a gritty, fast-paced adventure about two brothers caught up in a magical war, generations in the making. See, only 10 of my friends so far have added this to their TBR on Goodreads. So I just think these things are worth mentioning. Sometimes there are books that I read and people are like, oh my gosh, I had no idea this author even had a new book. So who else? There was one other person that I was shocked. Oh yeah, Tomas Medina. So I've read both of her books. They were both like intense contemporaries. One of them was A Girl Like That. One of them was The Beauty of the Moment. But her foray into fantasy is called Hunted by the Sky. It says it's inspired by medieval India. There's a girl with a star-shaped birthmark who is prophesized to be the downfall of a tyrant king. And this is supposed to be out like spring, summer 2020. I'll put links to all of these, the Goodreads, in the description. Or I might make an entire shelf just to make it easier for you. Oh yeah, and then Jasmine Warga. She wrote 2 YA books that I didn't like, but I knew there was something I really liked about her writing. And then she wrote a middle grade, which I gave 5 stars and was completely in love with. So I'm so excited that she has a new middle grade. I'm really stoked that she's kind of sticking with middle grade. It's called The Shape of Thunder, and it says, set in a year after a school shooting has devastated a small Ohio town, the novel follows 2 12-year-old best friends as they hatch a seemingly impossible plan to try and make everything okay again. It's gonna come out like 2021. I definitely have it on my radar because I think middle grade is just perfect for her. Another author that I love so much, and I love where she's been going with her books, has another one coming out. This says 2020. It has like no synopsis, but Katrina Leno, her last book was a lot darker than her previous like 2 or 3. I can't remember how many books she's had, but she's the one who wrote Summer of Salt, and then Everything All at Once, and then You Must Not Miss, which was a little bit darker. And in my review I talked about how I wished it was, if she like truly went there and it was dark. And now apparently she has a book coming out 2020 called Horrid, and it just says, a girl who loves Agatha Christie, a girl who loves spooky stuff and mysteries until that spooky stuff starts happening to her. And I just think, again, this is exactly where I wished Katrina Leno was going, and I'm so glad that she is. Most of these, like I said, don't have covers, so I have like nothing to show you, so sorry about that. Okay, I have one jotted down called Fantastic Worlds, Impossible Places. So this is an anthology, and it's got, listen, Danielle Clayton, Libba Bray, Zoraida Cordova, Tessa Granton, Justina Ireland, Anna Marie McLemore, V.E. Schwab, Nick Stone, Rebecca Roanhorse, all authors that either I love or I know you guys love. And the press release just says it focuses on fantasy and science fiction. Like, that's it. None of my friends have it on your TBR. Y'all need to get into anthologies. Regardless of what this is, I'm reading it. Speaking of authors I love, Anna Marie McLemore has another book coming out next year. This one does have a cover, and I want to say it's like the one I've been least interested in, but I'm still gonna read it, obviously. It's Anna Marie McLemore. Oh, because it's historical fiction-ish. So it says, summer 1518, a strange sickness sweeps through Strasbourg. As rumors of witchcraft spread, suspicions turn toward Laviana and her family. So it's about like a magical family, like most of her books are. And then it's set current day, and it's about a pair of red shoes that make a girl dance uncontrollably. I just think it's gonna be great. I guess it comes out in January, so that's not even too long of a wait. Then I was so shocked because one of my favorite authors, Courtney Stevens, is coming out with a new book. It's called June Boys. I feel like this month in the title thing is a really big trend right now. Like, there was a million Junes, the June Boys. There's a book called The July Girls, I think. And then there's like 1,000, what is it, Doors of January. So this one also has a cover. That's how I originally saw it, is there was like a cover reveal post written by the publisher, and I was like, excuse me, Courtney Stevens has a new book? It says, the Gemini thief is a serial kidnapper who takes 3 boys and holds them captive from June 1st to June 30th the following year. The June boys endure 13 months of being stolen, hidden, observed, and fed before they're released, unharmed by their masked captor. The thief is a pro, having eluded authorities for nearly a decade and taken at least 12 boys. And then the synopsis goes on to say a bunch of other things that I feel like could be spoilery. Like, I think it just gives a little too much. But this sounds super weird. Like, is this a mystery? I'm just equally not ready for it and so ready for it. And that comes out in March. So I need to get my hands on an ARC, basically, is what I'm saying. ASAP. My next one that I am ridiculously excited about is called King and the Dragonflies. And I can already tell, like, it's gonna make me cry. So this is written by Kaysen Callender, who was formerly writing under Karen Callender. And this is also the book, you know, the book Snake that we see on all the covers. He's the one who has written Queen of the Conquered. That one comes out next year. I know everyone's looking forward to it. But I loved his book Hurricane Child so much. This kind of seems like it could be similar vibes. And it follows a boy, and I think there's a decent amount of magical stuff in it. It follows a 12-year-old named Kingston, and he thinks his brother has turned into a dragonfly. So like Astonishing Color of After vibes. So it says his brother has shed his first skin to live down by the bayou. And it says the main character has to keep secrets and watch grief transform his family. So it's queer and magical and I think middle grade. So it sounds so much like Hurricane Child and I'm really excited about it. Okay, and then I heard that Rebecca Potus is coming out with another book. It's called The Dust Alphabet. She's the one who wrote Like Water and The Mystery of Hollow Places, and most recently The Wise and the Wicked. So she wrote 2 contemporaries, and then The Wise and the Wicked was her first fantastical thing, and I think that's where she thrives. I love when authors write one genre and they go to another and it's even better than their previous stuff, and it's like they found their space. Not that they need to stop writing and or they can't try anything new, but it's like, it's just really exciting to me that she's writing another fantasy. This says it's a contemporary YA fantasy about identity, faith, and fate. On her 17th birthday, Hannah is cursed by a shade. It says a Jewish demon, as the price for a desperate bargain that her mother made long ago. To break the spell, she and her brother must track down their mother's estranged family and discover a legacy they never dreamed of. It's gonna come out in like 2021. Oh, I just want to read it. Oh, and then there's another anthology called A Phoenix Must First Burn, I think is what it was. This one recently got a cover too, which is when I heard about it. It comes out in 2020, and we've got, again, a bunch of authors that I love, including A. Marie, Elizabeth Acevedo. Elizabeth Acevedo writing a short story. Like, can you even handle this? L.L. McKinney, who wrote A Blade So Black, that Alice in Wonderland retelling that I really liked. Again, we've got Rebecca Roanhorse. I'm so excited to read short stories from her. E.B. Zaboy, Justina Ireland again, Danielle Clayton again. And this says it centers around Black girls and gender non-conforming teens. That's all the information we get. But again, you know me in anthologies. I'm gonna read them no matter what. Oh, and then Emma Mills. It was announced that she is gonna have a new book, I think in 2020. It's called Lucky Caller. I love Emma Mills so much. I've never not given Emma Mills 5 stars. So anything she writes, I'm gonna pick up. Again, no cover yet. When Nina decides to take a radio broadcasting class her senior year, she expects it to be a walk in the park. Instead, it's a complete disaster. The members of the radio team have nothing in common, and I guess they just come together and form a bond. It says, with warmth, wit, intimate friendships, and heart-melting romance she brings to all her books, Emma Mills crafts a story about believing in yourself, owning your mistakes, and trusting in human connection. Oh, that sounds so cute. Oh, speaking of Anna Marie McLemore, she is writing her first collaboration. I love a good collab book, and it's with Taylor K. Mejia, who wrote, what is that book? We Set the Dark on Fire, which I didn't really like, but I had no problems with her writing, so I'm very interested to read Meteor. And it says there are 2 friends, one made of stardust and one fighting for her family's diner. There's a small town 50th annual pageant and talent competition, and it's about them changing their town's destiny as well as their own. Again, I'll pick up anything Anna Marie McLemore, so I'm so excited for that one. Ooh, next, Sarah Pinburrough. So she has a new book coming out called Dead to Her, and it says, being the second wife can be murder. I really cannot wrap my mind around this synopsis. It says, once a cheat, always a cheat, they say. Marcy Maddox has worked hard to get to where she is after the illicit affair that started her new life a few years ago. Her husband is hard to maintain. His name's Jason. Then Jason's boss brings home a hot new wife from his trip. She's sexy, drop-dead gorgeous, and black. Keisha quickly usurps Marcy's place as the beautiful second wife. But when Marcy sees the extra spark in the room when Keisha and Jason are together and their obvious magnetic connection, the gloves come off. Revenge is best served cold, but in the steamy Savannah heat, blood runs so hot that this summer it might boil over into murder. Honestly, regardless, I need to read every Sarah Pinburrough, so add that one to your TBR. And then here's the thing, I haven't read so many of V.E. Schwab's books, and I know I should, you all tell me to, but I'm most interested in the one that doesn't even have a cover yet. It's called The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and she has been talking about this book on Twitter for years. It says it's about a love story between a French girl and the devil over 300 years. She sells her soul for the ability to live forever, and the devil curses her to be forgotten by everyone she meets. Like, that gives me chills. I think it sounds so interesting. I'm not positive of the release date for that one, but I'm really excited to see the cover when that drops. And then Lexi Elliott, who's a thriller author, she wrote The French Girl and The Missing Years. She has a new book that's just been recently announced called How to Kill Your Best Friend. This one is fall 2020, and it says it's about a woman in jeopardy who suspects her closest friend of being a murderer until she turns up dead. I think Lexi Elliott is super talented, and I know that her books are going to continue to get better and better. Oh, and then another collaboration is called Yes, No, Maybe So. It's by Becky Albertalli and Aisha Saeed. It doesn't have a cover, but it has a little like teaser cover. And it says, Jamie Goldberg is cool with volunteering for his local state Senate candidate as long as he's behind the scenes. When it comes to speaking to strangers, Jamie's a choke artist. There's no way he'd ever knock on doors to ask people for their votes until he meets Maya. Maya is having the worst Ramadan. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Ever. Her best friend is too busy to hang out, her summer trip is canceled, and now her parents are separating. Why her mother thinks the solution to her problems is political canvassing with some awkward dude she hardly knows is beyond her. So it's gonna be like a political activist romance, which I'm totally here for. Also, Casey West has a new book. This one already has a cover. This used to be called something else, but then the title just changed. Now it's called Hearts, Heroes, and Heath Hall. You guys know I love Casey West. I'll read anything she comes out with. It says, at 16, Hannah Moore knows exactly who she is, a swimmer who will earn a scholarship to college. Totally worth all the hard work, even if her aching shoulders don't agree. So when a guy dressed as Hollywood's latest action hero, Heath Hall, crashes her swim meet, she isn't amused. Instead, she's determined to make sure he doesn't bother her again, only she's not exactly sure who he is. Oh, so it's like a secret identity YA contemporary romance. Again, that just sounds like exactly what I need. So that's it. Those are a bunch of books that have been recently announced or covers have recently come out, and I just wanted to have a casual conversation about them for really no reason. Let me know if you liked this. I could definitely do more in the future with less books next time. I've been holding on to these for weeks now, so let me know if you're interested in any of them, if you're gonna add them to your TBR, if you have any other new releases that I would be interested in, and I'll see you later. Bye!